All right. For the last movie that I'd like to show you, at least for today, so many more things, but I think what's really cool is that you can just kind of get in the habit of checking different things out and being experimental and kind of not being too afraid of what things do. So what I want to do is kind of show you some of the more advanced keyframe things. So these are just, so in this case, I'm just kind of playing around a little bit with the spider and working with his motion. And so let me show you some of the techniques that you can do for that. The first thing that I want to show you is this idea of motion blur. So on every layer, you can you can determine whether you want to have that layer have a little bit of motion blur or not. So these things just kind of like enable different things that you can do on different layers. So I'm going to say, yep, I would like this to have some motion blur. And so I come down here and make sure that I have that clicked. So what that does is, let's go ahead and play this. You'll see a little bit of motion blur in here, just a little bit, like especially there where the little guy kind of goes over in that direction. Some of the other things that I want to show you are, again, some of the keyframe interpolation and different things that you can do. So let's start with keyframe assistant on this one. I have an easy ease in. So I want the, you know, as the thing comes in, I want it to ease in, but I want it to really like bounce back up quickly. So I don't have it easing out. I don't have any ease on the out on that. And I have the duration of this going pretty fast. So it kind of like eases in and then just bounces back up. Now, what I have happen then is at this point, there's another keyframe. And what I could probably do is I could actually even put a hold on that keyframe for a little bit. And you do that by toggling hold. So I could put a hold up there, and then I could simply put another keyframe in there, and that will allow me to go forwards. Now, what is happening here is I've got the motion path, okay? I changed the motion path a little bit for this guy. So I have easing in and easing out on all of these, all right? And what I have is some like kind of an arc happening here with this motion path. So how do you change these little little things? So in this case, I was able to go over and change the kind of path that is. So this is very Illustrator-like as well. So under the pen tool, you have the ability to convert a vertex from one thing to another, so you can make it linear versus Bezier. Bezier will give you more of a spline curve, whereas linear will make it more linear. So that's like actually really handy. And then just like Illustrator, all of these paths, especially if they're or if they are a Bezier, and you can change the curve, they're going to have handles at the ends, and so you can kind of stretch those handles and affect those curves in kind of a nice way. And so that just kind of gives a little tiny bit more, I would say, finesse to the to your motion path.